I do past life regressions, I teach classes. I've been a reader for most of my life. I'm just in the profession and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand all the voices in my head, which is why I try to understand the voices. You guys, I have the super guys in genre on the photo. I have one with on the other side of that. You would say, all that in the first grade, you remember the block class. Literally my story on how I started with my but also to anybody who likes the modality or it's a great tool to teach you all the ways to it also teaches you different modalities, different tools that you can use to help you with your abilities. Your name chair, we got 2 more over here. Alright, so that's called the quest. I also teach classes. I teach my room. Really added in Lombard. So follow me by my schedule. But I like to always start off when I have a crowd with a gift. So I'm going to give out a gift number the back too.
Yep. If you're under the age of 18, please raise your hand.
You don't get a gift.
Yeah, show them what you got. I mean, this is really only Michelle. Ooh, did I get enough? Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to go on this side so you guys can hear me talk. As crazy as this is going to sound, I know literally how my book starts. The first time I ever heard something I was doing, it was shortly after the passing of my father, which is not uncommon that you would find it after my father or a trauma. So I was singing a song that was the craziest thing you've ever heard. But I was 6 years old and I was walking on the sidewalk, and I started taking a step, and I heard this little kid just like on the step on it. And I looked down and there was just a little ant sitting there in the shadow. And I realized I could hear the ant talking, and I looked on my step. And I couldn't bring my foot down and can't step on it, because I literally froze in the air. From there, things just started happening, and I started seeing 3-dimensional spirits. I started hearing spirits. The problem is, in the beginning, I didn't understand what I was hearing or what was happening. The one thing that I tell everybody is that we all, there's no even that does not have the same ability that I have. The only difference is between you and me and the guy next to me is the difference the same as I say, well, how many guys like, want to be in shape and, really healthy? So you sign up for the gym, and then you drive by the gym, then you wait. I have one thin arm from waving goodbye to the gym. That's about all I do, okay? It's the same with yourself. If you don't work out on it, it doesn't get stronger. Okay? So it is something that you literally have to do. If you want to go to class, there's some over there. There's some right over here today. Okay. Anyway, so learning how to develop it. When I first got into this, you have to understand social media or even cell phone. So I literally had to mark myself to the library. I looked up So I went to the library and unfortunately got back. The only thing I could find was stuff on the tree. And then when that my job, my husband. So I really felt let down because there was no place to go to go to what I can explain to you about the voices in your head is that it's not your voices that are not in your own voice. Because the voices that I hear, the voices that I hear, is their own voice, which is what creates doubt. I feel like, is that my voice, or is that, where am I hearing that? Or is this real? So it creates animosity that you don't trust. And the one thing that I learned, and I tell everybody when they go into this, before you start anything, you write the word trust. That was something that I said John Edwards, and I will never forget those words. Because I don't learn over the years, but I hear things that I would throw it out there, and I would, like, back in the day, I would hear something, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. And I wouldn't say it, and then the person would bring it back to me. And it was literally the spirit world, like, kicking me in the ass. Like, we gave it to you, and now they give it to you. So I learned to trust it. One of the things that I also learned to do, we're all supposed to try to start finding and everything else, was you need to have the angel journey, spiritual journey. Because literally, and I know this, somebody made fun of me for saying this once, but what happens is the more I the more I believe in it, and I went down to one of the now, you're like, okay, you can hear me now? All right, what did you talk me? Because it opens up that doorway. And there was a period of time when I didn't need to journal anymore, which is something that the problem with the voices in your head is we have three sets of voices. We have our conscious voice. This is the voice that says I'm running down. We have our spiritual voice right behind that voice. This is the one that says don't take jumps, take a different route. And you're like, why not? I always take different routes. That's your spirit guides are trying to tell you keep going ahead of the problem ahead, right? But the biggest point that we all have in our head is our dark voice. That is what creates animosity. It's what creates doubt. Every negative energy we feel comes from the dark side. We have to have a balance, but the problem is the more we listen to the dark side, the more we feed into it. The more we feed into it, the more fun it has, and the more it screws with you. So we don't know how to decipher which voice I want to listen to. Understand, we are the maker of our own truth. We are our own fantasy writer. We write it how we want to see it. And sometimes, like I always say, everything is just a bump over. It's all it is. Dark side of the house. If I walk outside right now and I had a flat tire, my mind says, guess I'm going to get a new tire. I guess that's one of the other ways. So when you learn to look at that dark place, that's not about it. Because it's not as fun as funny. So it's intense to go there. I spent a decade coming to church. Right now, there's people who are like, and I had to do that to shut them because I couldn't figure out what's going on in my head. I have to work it out. I worked most of my life and still work in the ingredients. So you are dealing with people from all walks of life, all walks of life. Some experience, good guy. Okay, I trusted you. Yeah. So you have all this energy coming around. So I had to fear that fear and it's not so when you guys suffering anxiety, depression, suffering very long, I'm quite right with you. So that's suffering anxiety, depression, suffering very long, I'm quite right with you. So that's the spirit. So like every single time. No. What is that? So that's what my head is all the time. So I started coming to the point where I know that it's around me, but it's silence my word. So when these things start getting in your head, and you relationship with the dark side, you constantly also understand certain kinds of religion are also because I'm a media, what happens is I let the band go off. We have my spirit guide. So I generally put that band down during the day when I'm walking out. I don't like to go to Walmart. I don't like going to places. It's here that I just fight things out. But I literally walking past somebody, and I'm like, no. One day, I'm sure something with holy water. And I'm sorry. So I won't like I DoorDash a lot because I'm really but usually it's a respect that we have. Me and my spirit guides, it's a respect. Okay, so they don't live up unless it's important or encouraging. And because of the fact that in the spirit world, when I say my spirit world, let's just talk about your father. Okay, so your father goes down, you're making somebody, he can start pushing that veil up. Okay, so they can start trying to push it up, and I can be like, nah. But I was out in Alabama having dinner with my husband and my daughter, and the veil flew up, and there was a gentleman there. Now, here's the part about it. I don't remember nothing. I won't remember that I read you. And if I see you on the street, I apologize, because I won't probably recognize you. Like, literally, it goes down and we're lost in my mind. Because can you imagine if I had to carry everybody's deceased humans with me all day long? It's too much to hold on to, okay? So it's crazy because I don't remember exactly what happened in the restaurant, but my husband was telling the story to our neighbor, and I was like, okay, that's what happened. But we were at dinner, and the veil flew up, and there was a table of 4 ladies. And I knew I had to say something to one of the ladies. Okay, you're going to throw holy water on me? I don't know, you're going to burn me at the stake? I don't know what's not happening. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. So I argued with my spirits, and I'm like, I'm not going to that table. We are in a restaurant. What if they don't want to talk to me? What if they don't like me? What if they're Catholic? I'm screwed. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I literally just tried to push them away. I eat. And my husband and my daughter are like, oh God, here we go. Just throw off with somebody like that. They're kind of used to it. It's like, oh, here we go. I got up and went to the bathroom. This is part of the story that I didn't remember either. So my husband comes to the neighbor goes, yeah, Michelle comes out. She's like, okay, your brother's now calling me to the bathroom. I need to deal with it. So I walked up to the table and I said, first of all, if you get an impression from somebody, you do not just walk up to somebody randomly and be like, yo, your brother just stepped forward. You okay with that? No, you need information. We need to explain to them what you are and what you're doing. And honestly, I am surprised never in my life has anybody ever said no to hold a little water. But I wait for it every time. Because I really, my heart starts pumping. I went up to the table. This is the part that I do remember and I took away from that experience. When I walked up, I explained who I am and what I do. And I'm like, I am a medium, and unfortunately, there is somebody here who's trying to get your attention, and they want me to give you a message. They want a message. And the 4 ladies, of course, they all looked at me like, okay, yeah. It wasn't really that. I was being dramatic. They didn't roll their eyes. But they were like, yeah, okay. So I gave the message. I don't even know what the message was because I left it was there with them. All I do know is that one of the ladies started crying really hard. And she said, I needed that today. It's his day. That's why we're here. Right? So her brother's day was so. But that's where you get into a real fine line when it comes to the voices. Because they do say it's unethical to just walk up to somebody and start to read them. Actually, John Edwards said that I was arrogant because of the story of like that. He said, you can't just go up the street and read people. I said, no, I don't know. It's not that I just read them. I will ask them first. So some psychics will say it's unethical to do that, but it's not unethical if you announce what you are and what you're doing. Okay? So far, is there any questions? Anybody here hear the voices in their head? Okay. All right. And how many of you guys are ready to go to the gym now? We got to work out. Okay. Do you guys hear them regularly, or is it, you're a reader? Reader? No? Reader? Okay. Reader? Reader, healer? You feel healer from you? Okay. All right. Very good. If you don't have to use this ability or this gift or this voices for the purpose of as a job. Your loved ones are there waiting to talk to you. Talk to them. I've got a mom that's stepping forward and she's like right from this section right here. It was her heart that caused her to cross. She was a short lady. She got perms. I could smell the perm. You know who this lady was right over here? George? All right. Slice of that. She was steering behind God. Yours? Okay. All right. That's okay. Sorry. You're your mom right now. So, because the fact that she knows what we're doing, you guys are all here, the male can go up and they can start talking. Okay. You also have there's a brother or male figure standing next to her on the other side. Yes. Okay. She's just doing that so that you know that it's her, and that she just wants you to know you're not alone. That's what they do. So that when you come to a reading with me and other readers, they can start battling off stuff like, okay, I got a bottle and it's on the other side. Some of it's just for validation, like I am around you. There's nothing else. And all the time I'll get, well, what does it got to say? Right? They're here. They're here. That's what they have to say. Like they're here for you. They want you to know that. Do you guys know the difference between angels and spirit guides? Because there is a difference. Okay? Angels have never lived on earth. They can come to earth, but they don't live here. Your spirit guides are those that have crossed over. They're not necessarily all of your own people. All the time I get people asking, well, who's my spirit guide? Like they change. Like it is believed that we are given a guardian angel at birth, but it also during the transition of our life and different stuff that we are going through, different angels will come forward for us. Your mom should come guide me because I was going through the same struggle. Maybe I burned and failed. I don't know. But she's like, oh, I'm going to help her because her hair sucks. Okay? So, but because of the fact that I'm experiencing something that somebody who's crossing has experienced, they can use that opportunity, like, I'm going to go help her. I know this one. I got this one. I'm going to help out. So our spirit guides are not always just our loved ones. It would be nice if they were, but they're not. They can be anyone. Sometimes it's as simple as something you've never met, you've never known. Okay? But the one thing that I can tell you is that we are all spiritually connected with something. Every one of us. If I walk past one of you guys out in Joliet in 2 weeks, or let's not say I'm walking past you that I recognize you're not going to do it. But let's say I walk past your sister in 2 weeks in Joliet. All of a sudden I'm going to look at her and I'm like, do I know you? And she's going to say, no, you don't know me. She do that whole where'd you grow up, where you were. Yeah, there's no connection whatsoever. But there is a connection because we are a resin. Anybody old pot smokers? I was in the 80s. Okay, we all like that resin. It was tacky and stuck around. That's what we are. We are resin. So literally, just because I met him, his sister has his resin attached to her. So suddenly we start picking up people. So when you can't figure out how you know somebody, it's because you know there's somebody. Okay, so it's really kind of cool because you can't figure out who belongs to you. That's who belongs to you. How are we doing on time?
We got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. You guys have questions about your voices in your mind, or how to discern from them? Actually, let's talk religion for a second. Religion is let me explain something. I took theology at North Central College because when I couldn't figure out where I fit in the world, I was Irish Catholic. Okay. So when I go live every Tuesday night on same time at 8 p.m., myself and people around the world, we have live readings. Okay, so follow me on TikTok, people have me playing all the time. I'll get somebody that jump at me. God forgive me. God save me. You're working Satan's shit. Okay. So I have to bring up the Bible. One of the Bible I studied it inside and out. All right. 2 Corinthians verse 12 starts with this that we're going to get discernment of the spirit is one of them. Understanding the spirit that comes in. It is in the Bible. Crystals are in the Bible. Astrology is in the Bible. We're not. This is doing New Age class. I think that works. We are older than birth. Okay. We are. So we're doing that New Age stuff. So that's why I know that sometimes we have that conflict in our brain because of our religious background. Because Mommy said we're going to go to hell because we're here today. We're not. We're not at all. I mean, why do you think that the Bible got separate? The Old Testament got written on the Bible. There's never a new book. Nobody else ever prophesies everything ever again. No, we are a new book. As we got out of the dark ages, people started opening their minds and spirituality and understanding we are not alone. We were never intended to so understand that we are part of the country. Questions? Yes. I am doing readings. I think we're booked up until like
3:15ish.
something. I know I will also be active tomorrow, but all you need to do is grab my card. We do events like this all the time. I know we have another are $60. It's only 30 to 45 minutes. We don't set a clock. Yeah, just point it back here. Other cuts. I can't even go. And I hear that from people, and I find it really weird. Yeah, because generally they spend. I remember they say before you get to my house. I literally started getting them just calling my brain out. And like, you know, like meditating and all of that. It's very important. But I don't have to meditate anymore because what I do before I meditate, before I start reading, is like just quiet my mind. And I talk to them. I like my wife candles. I still have probably still about it later. But I have a cross myself and cross my protection around me. Because the dark side can come in, that will go darkness. And I'll tell you why, the dark side is not you. It's scary. Because I can tell you, but the specifics you can get from the dark side is scary. Okay? So like if you ask me, what is my dog in the box, I would say, that's your dog. And even if you want to talk to subsequent soul contracts, I very much believe in them. I believe before we got here, we decided exactly what we want to learn, what lessons we want to learn. And I know you're looking like, who the hell wants to learn this shit? I don't. I ask myself all the time, what the hell do you want? You should have been asking me. So we pick what lessons we want to learn, and then we come here and we experience them. But not necessarily how we think we want to experience them. Maybe I want to see what it's like for addiction on her. I didn't mean to be the addict. I just want to watch you screw up. You know what I'm saying? So just because we plan it doesn't mean it's going to line up the way we want. This is the hardest part to tell somebody what I do, especially when they cross the line. When they lost somebody very close to them. We have free will even to the last second. So let's say I picked my graduation day to leave here to go back home. It's going to be March 29th, 2025, right? March 25th, 29th, 2025, I can still change my mind. How many times have you seen where somebody's crossed over and they're happy? There's a joke about the Irish who died twice. You know? Like, because they're like, I'm safe. There's no whiskey up there. Sticking around. But we have free will to end. The reason why it's so hard is because you're looking at your child's headstone and you're wondering, why would my child not want to be here? It's because they didn't want to serve its purpose.
And now.